So one of my favorite practices of all time that I like to share with people, and I've heard back from literally thousands of students that this has been really a turning point for them in consistent practice. And that is the practice of doing 5 mini meditations 5 different times throughout the day, using the breath as the object or the focal point for your mind or for your meditation. Another way of saying that would be to do five breath-long breathing meditations 5 different times throughout the course of the day. Did I thoroughly confuse you yet? Stay with me. So what this means is 5 different times throughout the day, I'm just going to practice doing a really short little breathing meditation that lasts only about 5 cycles of breath. That's one of the hallmarks of the mini meditation. It's short, sweet, to the point, can be done without taking too much time out of our daily living schedule. So here's a way to set up this practice, taking 5 mindful or conscious breaths or doing a 5 breath-long breathing meditation 5 different times throughout the day. So what I do, every morning when I wake up, okay, first I use the restroom, might be TMI, but let's be real here. And then I come back and I sit on the edge of my bed as kind of a little bit of a discipline, and I'll just do about a 5 breath-long breathing meditation. As I mentioned, I have really young twin boys, and sometimes they're like jumping on me at the time they've already woken up. I don't care anymore. I'm going to do my 5 breath-long breathing meditation because I know that it sets me up in a completely different way for the entire day, for how I am with them, et cetera, if I can just sneak in that little mini meditation practice right from the get-go. And then every single time I climb into my car, I do a mini meditation, about a 5 breath-long breathing meditation. Sometimes we can be down the street a mile or two and not really have full awareness that we're driving our car. We can do it so mindlessly, right? So it's a beautiful practice to every time you get into your car to just do a little bit of a breathing meditation to kind of just fully arrive there, recognize what you're about to do, which is take a relatively dangerous vehicle out into the world, right? If you're always forgetting to do those, which is what happens for most people, especially when we start our practice, go right now, press pause on the video and go put a Post-it note on your dashboard, right? It doesn't even have to say anything. Just seeing that weird Post-it note on your dashboard can remind you to do this little bit of a practice. We want to do whatever it takes, especially when we start, to create these as habits, to create these little opportunities to kind of interrupt the flow of mindlessness in the course of our daily life with a little practice of mindfulness. But until it becomes a habit, you kind of got to do what it takes to remind yourself. And Post-it notes are typically how most people remind themselves to do everything and anything that they consider to be of big enough importance that they need to remember. Beautiful. So then the next piece, every time I arrive somewhere, I try to do about a 5 breath-long breathing meditation. People say, well, aren't you always late for your meetings then? No, because it only takes about 10, 15 seconds at the max to do one of these mini meditations. And the beauty of it is that when I do this every time I arrive at a meeting or at the grocery store, it totally changes, kind of sets me up in a different way for how I interact with the people at the meeting or how present I'm able to be with my choices at the grocery store or the other human beings in the grocery aisle, whatever it is. And then every single day when I come home at the end of the day, I sit out in my garage and I try to do about a 5 breath-long breathing meditation. Sometimes I'll sneak in maybe 30 breaths because it's so important. A lot of times without this practice, we just kind of come in the house and we bring with us all the stuff of our day, the stresses, the disappointments, just the general busyness. And then the kids are wanting this, that, and the other from us, and it can feel like, Calgon, take me away. Remember that commercial? Calgon, take me away. Anyway, but if you take that moment out in the car before coming in to your family life, it can totally set you up in a whole different way for how you relate to your family. A nice way of understanding these mini meditations, these little 5 breath-long breathing meditations, are if you look at kind of an example of a tennis player. Any good tennis player will do the exact same thing every time the opponent hits the ball. And that is, they'll try to take a split step when the opponent hits the ball. What the split step enables is for the tennis player to regain his or her center of gravity so that they can then nimbly move in whatever direction is necessary. And how you beat someone at tennis, you get things moving so quickly that they don't have the time to regain their center of gravity. They're committed that way, you easily hit the ball the other way, and there's no chance that they're going to be able to get it. A beautiful way to understand these mini meditations is all throughout the course of the day. It's that ability to kind of regain our center of gravity. So we're not back in the past, we're not forward in the future, but we're centered kind of here in the present moment so that we can now nimbly move in whatever direction is now necessary. Beautiful kind of metaphor for these mini meditations or informal practice. And then the last little piece of this for my particular practice is before I go to bed. I punctuate each day the same way as I came into the day. I sit on the edge of my bed, and I'll do at least a 5 breath-long breathing meditation. Sometimes I'll do a little bit more, absolutely. And then I just kind of stay with the feeling of the breath as I turn out the light, as I lie down, and I just stay with that breathing meditation. Now that I'm in a lying down position, when that relaxation starts to surface in the body, which a lot of times it does, I can more effectively move off into sleep. But I start off in a sitting position so that I can really just get focused on that which I'm trying to do, which is actually do a little mini meditation. Remembering that relaxation is the byproduct of the practice of meditation. So I want to make sure I go into the practice first to hopefully enable the byproduct of the relaxation to be able to go to sleep a little bit more efficiently. And then at any time during the night you wake up, you can absolutely do a little bit of a breathing meditation, mini meditation. The encouragement is not to look at the clock in the middle of the night. That just stimulates thought. Just you're awake, you don't have to be to work yet, move right into a little mini meditation using the breath. Perfect way to begin to really increase our consistent practice with the informal aspect of meditation practice.